Seattle's police chief, Carmen Best, has resigned amid a vote by the Seattle City Council to defund the police. Now, they call it a historic cut to the police department budget, but it's actually relatively small. In fact, the defunding of the police was so weak that one of the far left city council women got mad and voted against it, demanding a 50% reduction to the police budget. Well, hey, chill, don't worry. You're still getting what you want. The police are going to have their salaries slashed. There's going to be layoffs, and they're going to be completely demoralized. We also have this story following this vote. Carmen Best, black female police chief, driven out by Seattle Council. They were going to slash the police chief's salary by just over $20,000. And this is a black female police chief, and it's all in the name of Black Lives Matter. Well, congratulations. You are defunding your police. And now I'm going to throw it to Seattle business owners. You know what, man? We had riots throughout Chicago, Seattle, Portland. Once again, Portland was rioting just last night. Yeah, you get it, man. I've got some stuff to show you, but what am I supposed to say at this point? We know what's going on, night 74, and yet you still have these people publicly declaring their support for Black Lives Matter, and I am sick of it. Seattle business owners fed up with crime worry about cuts to police department. And guess what they say? But we support Black Lives Matter. Oh, you do? You support the people running around smashing up your windows, and then you have the nerve to complain about people smashing up your windows? No, I don't want to hear it. You're concerned about cuts to the police department, yet you publicly support a movement and where one of their demands is defund the police? Shut your mouth. I am sick and tired of hearing it. You have brought this on yourself every single day. You're like, yeah, we support everything they're doing. Oh no, why are they doing it to me? Because you asked them to. I'm not even mad at the Black Lives Matter rioters and extremists right now on this one. I'm mad at the business owners who are giving them public support. These people are only able to do what they do because of some support of these groups. Because the business will put up the flyers and say, yeah, we're okay with all of this, and then come out and be like, oh no, look at all the destruction, but we support. You know what, man? Nah. All of this is happening as homicides around the country are skyrocketing. And what do we get now? We get DAs who say we will not prosecute, straight up. So now we're hearing more and more stories about these Black Lives Matter extremists smashing things up, destroying property, and being released. And what do we hear from these people in cities? We support this. What are you talking about? Why are you supporting this? Call it out. You know, the other day in Chicago, following the mass looting on Monday, so we had mass looting early Monday morning. And then later in the night, we saw a Black Lives Matter rally. They were holding up a sign that said, "Our futures have been looted, loot back," or something like that. That's right. They're embracing the looters who went around stealing and destroying in the name of social justice. So all of these businesses, all of these people who claim they support this, you are doing it to yourself, and don't expect me to come and clean up the mess that you wrought. You brought it on yourself, and now you want you know what, man? Look, I'll tell you what. There's the door. There's the exit, right? What I mean is there is a way out of the mess you created for yourself. Don't expect me to do all the work for you. All you got to do is walk out that door and say, I do not support this. I reject this. But so long as you're sitting there standing side by side, linking arms with these people saying you support them, when they turn around and bash some skulls, that's on you, not me. So let me read a little bit what's going on with the police chief, and then we'll talk about what the hypocrisy of these business owners who are supporting a movement and complaining about it at the same time. Carmen Best, Seattle's first black female police chief, will announce her resignation Tuesday at 11 a.m., just one day after the Seattle City Council devastated the police department with reckless budget cuts. Best informed officers of her decision to retire in an email late Monday night. It is effective September 2nd. To be clear, Best is being driven out by council members, taking the city down a destructive path. After the budget cuts, 100 officers will now lose their job, the majority of them likely officers of color. Best, however, won't let them go first. She's stepping down seemingly in protest of the council's actions. Will this be a wake-up call to the city of Seattle? Will residents rise up and demand the council stop listening to a small group of unreasonable fringe activists? Time will tell. I'm going to go ahead and say no. You want to know why I'm going to say no? Because of stories like this. Man, it takes a special kind of stupid to be like, clapping and cheering as people riot and loot and destroy everything. And you're like, yay, I support this. And then when they come and smash your window, you go, oh no, how could this have happened? Check this out. They say so this is from the other night. 2 people are in custody and 4 others may be charged after 8 businesses were hit by vandals last night in Seattle's First Hill. Some business owners are fed up. They worry if this is happening before SPD cuts, what will happen afterwards? Yeah. Seattle police said the individuals arrested were part of a group of protests that began at Cal Anderson Park Sunday night. 911 calls started coming in around 10:15 p.m. Police said they arrived at 7th and East Madison Street. A few of the arrested were allegedly in the midst of smashing a storefront's windows. Smashed storefront, spray paint, clean up, and board up. It feels as if it's the new norm for some business owners. It is just an unnerving experience, said Jamie Munson. From First Hill to Capitol Hill to Munson's Pioneer Square, simply Seattle store, the same scene. Sadly, it's become routine. We've gotten good at calling the insurance company, boarding up windows, and protecting the store. It's just exhausting. 2 of his 3 stores have been hit 5 times since protests began. He offered that unnerving feeling the unnerving feeling he has never goes away for him or his staff. I describe it as a low tension that never goes away. And now with SPD budget cuts on the way, we fully support the Black Lives Matter movement and want to see change. That's a special kind of stupid right there. I'm tired of it, man. I'm tired of it. We watched mass looting and rioting throughout Chicago. In June, Lori Lightfoot of Chicago was offered federal assistance. You're not taking orders from the president. He's saying, I got some stuff. You want to use it? Imagine if your dog took a dump on your floor in your kitchen and your buddy is like, I got a mop in my car, and you're like, I don't need lessons on cleaning from you. And you're like, okay, sure. That's what you get. And now Chicago has been ransacked and looted, and the Black Lives Matter groups are supporting the riots and the looters, demanding they be released. It is not about any of this nonsense, anything to do with police brutality. It is about power. It is about stealing. It is about theft, and it is about destroying these systems. So if you're as dumb as this guy to say, we fully support the movement as they repeatedly, routinely destroy our businesses, man, special kind of stupid. I'll tell you what. Think about this. He's straight up saying he has multiple stores. He has anxiety. He has to call the insurance company over and over again. And then he dares to say this? I'm sick of this, man. Perhaps if you stood up, the city council wouldn't have just voted to defund your police, you morons. He said he's like many business owners who feel stuck in the middle. They worry cuts are hasty. Munson is like 16 business association leaders who signed a letter imploring city council not to make some of the cuts. No, you don't get to do that. You don't get to say, please, I reject the demands of Black Lives Matter while announcing my full support for the movement. These people live in some kind of fantasy land where they think there's some like magical group of people that's all heroic and utopian or whatever. Have you listened to any of the demands of these people? They talk about dissolving disrupting the nuclear family. I'm sorry. But more importantly, the people marching around smashing things up, they're flying those flags. Who do you think those people are? You're like, I support you. They think the council has made decisions about without enough public input and no real plan. John Scholes, president of the Downtown Seattle Association, signed that letter. So did executive directors of the Alliance for Pioneer Square, Ballard Alliance, and Seattle Chinatown International Business Improvement Area, to name a few. Now, you know what I'm going to say? I'm glad they defunded the police. I am glad. You know why? That's called democracy. All right. If these business owners keep wanting to announce publicly they support this movement, well, then you're getting exactly what you've asked for. Now, your letter is meaningless. You know, I'll put it this way. Actions speak louder than words. And if you stand up on a pedestal and you announce to the press and have them publish your name saying you support all of this, well, then I'm so happy. I'm so happy for you. I'm happy the city has done the right thing to uphold what you have supported. Perhaps at a certain point, people like Munson will actually denounce this publicly and say, I don't support it. Scholes, when it comes to eliminating the city's investigation, team in the midst of a homeless crisis. It's a quote from him. I think it's reckless, a reckless set of decisions that is not going to result in more just policing for Black lives in our community, which is desperately needed. It's going to make the problem worse, not better. It's going to be more difficult for neighborhoods dealing with significant encampments, and we're going to not get help to the people who really need it. He said prior to debate about cutting SPD's budget, one area in Pioneer Square that had a few tents He says it now has about 70 tents, pointed to a new encampment that recently set up in Denny Park and concerns after a recent hepatitis A outbreak at a Ballard encampment. This is wonderful. I used to live in Seattle. I used to live relatively close to Ballard. And now you got a Hep A outbreak. Great. Thank you, people of Seattle, for making the city uninhabitable. This is the problem. We are seeing a spike in homicides in many different cities. And I'll tell you what the problem is. We got a bunch of irresponsible, immature, entitled individuals. I'm sorry, man. I'm really, really frustrated by this. Like the amount of entitlement of a business owner to support the rampage, the months of rioting, the death, and then be like, but what about my stores? The only reason these people are able to do this is because these morons keep coming out and supporting them. And that's it. And so the city does what the city does. They say, we got all of these messages of support. Everybody loves the murals. They're putting signs in their windows. Okay, defund the police. Police chief resigns. And now they're going, oh, no. No, not oh, no. Oh, yes. It's what you asked for. Look at this. In the wake of COVID-19 lockdowns, a troubling surge in homicides. Oh, is that what it is, New York Times? It's in the wake of COVID-19 lockdowns. Gee, I thought it might have something to do with, DAs releasing people. 30 people dead in the George Floyd riots. 30 people dead. And I thought maybe it's because they keep releasing criminals. The other day, there was a report that Kim Foxx of Chicago had been dismissing felony charges against criminal suspects at a very, very high rate, 35% higher than her predecessor. Now, a lot of these were narcotics charges, and I got to admit, I have no problem with that for the most part. It depends on what the charges are, for sure. I don't know. But if it's like pot-related charges and stuff, I don't care. Release these people, whatever, man. Non-violent offenses, it's mostly okay. But she was releasing, like aggravated assaults and homicides. She was dismissing these charges at a higher rate than her predecessor. And that to me is strange, because if they have the evidence to go after these people, you should see a static number in the amount that get dismissed, right? If 5% of all, charges that are brought against somebody turn out to be flimsy, well, then those they get dismissed. Why would the number go up unless she's taking a more lenient view of what, is actually, no. So the point is, she's giving the benefit of the doubt to a lot of people, and lo and behold, crime is up. But let me show you what's going on. We got some news from Andy No. Demetria Hester, 46, a celebrated Portland BLM leader, was arrested and charged at the North Portland Antifa riot. She has a long criminal history in Washington state that includes charges for prostitution, theft, assault, and domestic violence. And then he says, quickly released and charges immediately not pursued. Multnomah County DA declines charges against Demetria Hester. Well, Andy points out, Demetria Hester, who was arrested, charged, and released yesterday, is back at another unlawful assembly. The DA's office announced immediately they wouldn't pursue charges against her. Hear, hear. Bravo. You know what, man? I'm getting out of this area. I'm getting out of New Jersey. Phil Murphy is a lunatic. These Democrats have lost their minds, and I will be shocked if they win. It will be insane. I am sickened. Now I'm seeing people on Facebook who are talking about how you must support these Democrats, and I just don't believe it. I really don't. You got to be blind to see what these people are doing is psychotic. How many times these cops got to arrest these people who are trying to burn down buildings? They keep releasing them. More importantly, I'm just, I saw a post from local business owners in my area, and they're being threatened directly by the governor. The story of Atlas Gym, they arrested the business owners. They're doing it again. They're allowing all of this mayhem and chaos, and more riots. Look at this. Andy No. Overnight, from the 10th to the 11th, Antifa rioters attacked the police precinct again. Officer was hit in the face with a metal ball. Rioters threw rocks, eggs, and water bottles. Only 9 were arrested. It hasn't stopped. It's not going to stop. And there are people who are actually supporting this. I am deeply offended by this. By the people, you can tell how angry I am, who stand back and say they're going to vote for what these people are doing, these unconstitutional edicts, this nightmarish policy. They need to be voted out. Look, in my opinion, the moment any one of these leaders declares an unconstitutional authoritarian edict, I think we got to have some kind of law in the books where there could be a quick redress of grievances. And when you get someone like Phil Murphy or Cuomo or Newsom or Garcetti in LA, As soon as they announce that they intend to violate rights, you get it. A special cop walks in, cuffs them, and walks them out. You know what they're doing in LA? They said they're going to shut off people's water and power if they peaceably assemble. Now, I know they said partiers. I don't care. You can call it whatever you want. Same thing. Call it a party. I call it a peaceful assembly. But they're shutting down churches. Nah, man. I'm over it. I'm over it in the sense that I'm just fed up with these people who are now coming out saying you must vote for Biden and stuff like that. Are you nuts? You want this? Now, look, I mentioned it before. People like to say, but this is Trump's America. No. Hold on. What's going on in Seattle is the fault of the Seattle residents. 100%. I am at the point now where I believe too many people have skirted their responsibility. But let me be clear. If you're one of these people in Seattle, in Portland, and you do speak up and you do say no, bravo and an amazing job. And I mean that sincerely. If you're one of these people who's going to come out and support all of this and then cry when they come for you, what am I supposed to say to that? You got exactly what you asked for. It is mayhem. It is chaos. And the narrative has crumbled. Look at this Wall Street Journal editorial board. Looters rampage in Chicago and arson returns to Portland. Yeah, they're defunding police. The chaos will get worse. And you still, for some reason, have people saying they support this and they're going to be voting for these Democrats. And what? Have you lost your mind? At what point is enough enough? You know what it is? I am sick of the people who say, I'm going to just hide and I'll be okay. I'll keep my head down. And that's many of these people who are saying they support the movement. Nah. At this point, the movement has become a group of wild extremists romping around, smashing and stealing. In Chicago, that's exactly what they did. And when they got arrested, over 100 arrests, Black Lives Matter came out defending these people who were shooting guns at cops. 19 officers now injured, ramming cars into windows to loot stores, shooting bullets into the window of a Gucci to try and break in. And Black Lives Matter defended them. I am not exaggerating. They came out in defense. It's ridiculous. And here's the best part. In defund police cities with rising crime, getting a gun is no easy task, near impossible to get a permit. Strict laws, lack of shops, pandemic-related delays contribute to difficulty. Congratulations, my friends. Here's the new reality. Criminals have no problem getting guns and they don't care. Now they're not scared of the cops. They're doing whatever they want, and they have support from Black Lives Matter. In Chicago, people were shooting at cops. One guy was shooting into a window. And what happens? Well, regular law-abiding citizens struggle to actually get weapons in places like this. In New York and Chicago, LA, it's rather difficult relative to many other places. New Jersey, it's especially difficult. So you have criminals romping about, damaging, destroying. You have district attorneys that will not prosecute them. You have local businesses clapping and cheering. Yay, keep doing it. You keep doing it. And they smash up your windows. Not every business. I'm just mad at the ones that are supporting this. And you can't even defend yourself. You can't even defend yourself. It's incredible, isn't it? You know, I'm reminded of the trope of, someone trying to break into a gas station or, rob a gas station. The guy pulls out a shotgun. They do it in movies all the time. People don't realize that's not true for a lot of these big cities. They walk into a gas station in Chicago, and the only thing you can do is say, yes, sir, thank you, sir, please, can I have another? When they come in with guns, and sometimes they just kill you. We got a rule in Chicago. I'm not sure if everybody follows this, but especially when you're living on the South Side. When you're pulling up to a red light, you always make sure to leave one full car length in front of you. You know why? Because if you pull right up to the car in front of you at a light, they run up, and then they carjack you, and they're armed. They have guns, and you can't do anything. But if you leave a full car length in front of you open, and you keep that space, as soon as the people start running towards you, you slam the gas and peel out. You need that space. That's a rule that many of us on the South Side, for the most part on the South Side, but many in Chicago actually have about how to deal with the fact that people are armed and you can't defend yourself. I mean, you're in your car. It's the best way to escape anyway. Ultimately, the point is this. What we're seeing around this country is escalating. We've got district attorneys and state's attorneys releasing people. They're prosecuting people like the McCloskeys who would defend themselves. They're making it almost impossible for you to get a weapon to defend yourself. And when you do have it, you get the McCloskey treatment. They claim it was a crime. Yet when they march around with guns in the streets, like in Austin, this guy, Garrett Foster, he's a martyr. He's a hero because he was marching around with a loaded rifle. He's allowed to do it for sure. Isn't everybody else? Meanwhile, the police are being defunded. So no, I'm sorry. You can't just call the police anymore. They say, well, what do you need a gun for? You can call the police. Not anymore, you can't. Because the cops can't do anything. And the riots are happening, so homicides are on the rise. Oh, what's that? You want to defend yourself from the potential for murder? Sorry, you can't get guns in these jurisdictions. If you still live in these cities and you are praising this, shame on you. But if you live in these cities and you haven't gotten out yet, this is your wake-up call. This is your warning. You know what? I know a lot of people can't do it. If it were me, I would just leave everything behind. And I've seen the stories. People have trashed their furniture, tossed everything out, and just fled these cities. The election is coming. You think it's bad now. I am not kidding. I am doing everything in my power to move extremely quickly, and it is very difficult. I get it. It's rough, especially amid the COVID pandemic. So not everybody can do it, but if you've got family, if you've got friends, then I would recommend getting out of those cities, man. I'll leave it there. Next segment's coming up at 1 p.m. on this channel, and I will see you all then.